Can't stand neither one of you.
Winning and get so upset. This is generational, inspirational, integrative though. On the rise vertically, working like I ain't made it though. This is for my people. Locker room speeches. Listen while I'm teaching. Nails trying like a kiss. Stole it like I'm Jesus and brought it back like a re-up. Had to demonstrate the blessing for people who couldn't see it. Now we building assets before we splurge our cash. We was talking about the dream, dog. We heard y'all laugh. Now they talking about the team and I heard y'all last. I could never take the credit. I prefer all cash. Look, laughing at the crib cause I done turned into a bank. Probably turned into a mogul before I turned into a saint. Was just a man on his grind, then I turned it into great. Turn my struggle into hustle and you know I'm getting paid. Let's go.
What's going on, family? This is Dr. Jake Tayler Jacobs. I want to say welcome back to the show, BBSR Podcast. There's Iggy over there.
What's happening? Bro, we beefing?
Yeah, we beefing right now.
Oh, okay. Well, listen.
It's up.
It's up and
I got some. Listen, I got somebody that I know took me from a 12 to a 10. I got an issue, so I'm beefing with you because of them.
Hey, listen, that's all cool with me because listen, I can handle it.
Hey, listen,
I can handle it.
Okay. You can go ahead and
but for whoever did it,
you got an issue with them. That's right. What if it's somebody auntie? Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
grandmama's kids.
Auntie hurt my feelings. I got feelings too. Hey, listen, let me tell you something. Today's show is going to be absolutely amazing. We're going to be talking about the mastering the art of selling companies and how this actually can help towards your wealth plan. We'll define generational wealth, discuss its importance in securing the future, and in real life, we're going to talk about real life success of this happening. Let me tell y'all something. Everybody that's on the internet that's teaching you all this stuff about building wealth, becoming a millionaire, they be lying. Iggy, how we know they're lying?
Because they ain't showing no results.
They ain't showing no results.
They still acting like everything the same as it was in 2020 when all the money was flooding the market. They show a lot of highs and act like the lows don't exist.
Let me tell you something. For those of you that are following people that you love on social media that made $1 million through the pandemic, the pandemic was like the bubble in the NBA. That was good, wasn't it? Yeah. That was good. Yeah. Was that good? Yeah. Damn you, dog. The pandemic was like the bubble in the NBA. Like that wasn't a real meal.
Yeah, we don't even respect that.
We don't respect. You know, if you made $1 million,
right now, great job, you did it.
No,
you did it.
No, if you made Iggy trying to give y'all credit. I ain't trying to have none of that.
You did it. If you got to do it again.
Iggy, stop. Shut up. If you made $1 million during the pandemic, it's like soft. It's soft. It's a soft meal.
So it's like underhand pitch.
Yeah, it's like an underhand pitch. It's like underhand softball. Like, yeah, you did a good job, but that's not real business.
It's not baseball.
Yeah, so if you made a meal before the pandemic and after pandemic, then maybe I'll take you serious, and that's what I've been doing.
Consistency.
Since I was 26. I don't remember a year I haven't did $1 million in a year. Since 26.
It ain't been one.
I'm 31.
Ain't been one.
But
guess what though? This is why it's real though, because
well, then tell me something good.
However, we sure talk about that. Even though we made it, it was hard as hell to make.
All right, so now let me come back to me. Let me tell you something. Now let me tell you. The truth. Let me tell you the truth. It's hard as hell to make $1 million a year. I know these people on the internet be trying to make y'all feel like it's easy. But it's hard. Let alone to stay making $1 million a year. Let alone to deal with all of the other stuff and competitors that come up. So I know a lot of people online make it seem like it's easy to do what we talk about, but
set it and forget it.
Set it and forget it. The 4-day work week. What else we got? Not only the 4-day work week, but what else?
The work 30 minutes a day, part time.
30 minutes a day, you getting 30,000 your way. Like that's crap, dog. Like it's stressful as hell. And Iggy This is the first time Iggy is actually on the other side of what we want to call it, Iggy.
I don't know what we want to call it.
The other side of responsibility.
Oh yeah, at this level for sure.
Yeah, this is the first time that Iggy's on the other side of entrepreneurship, and he thinks it's ghetto. Can you tell him why it's ghetto?
Yeah, there's a number of reasons why it's ghetto. Yeah, the biggest one on this side of it, you the last person to get paid. Listen, good, show up, still got to do the same work more, but everybody else, all the bill, all the tech, everything else got to get straight.
I'm gonna just tell y'all this right now.
Before,
in order for our company to just run regularly, like this is regular, this is like slim. We got to be making $80,000 a month. Now I know this is a lot of your dream entrepreneur dreams, but in order for us to run our business at the level that we're running it, we have to make $80,000 a month, and that's our zero.
Yeah, and I want to be clear. He
don't get paid at $80,000 a month.
This is not just we talking about like.
You tell him
This not how we trying to keep it with the Jones of life. That's just business cost.
This is just like the cost of life.
Business cost just to make sure that we can sit here and talk to y'all with lights on.
Yeah, this is the cost. Listen. Let me tell y'all something. If you can work a job and they pay you $300,000 a year, just stay there, okay?
Yeah. Don't come over here. Look, take your surplus cash flow. Let's just get to buying these. Let me
tell you something. Because when I was dreaming about running a company,
this one part.
I thought that $80,000 a month was gonna be like I'm living vida loca. But in order to run our business and basic necessities of life. Like just paying all bills, no surplus, anything. We have to make $80,000 a month. But when I say that out loud, it's depressing as hell.
Listen, it's a depressing blessing.
It's a depressing blessing. And y'all, let me tell you something. This is slim. This is running as slim as we can run it. This is like with the least amount of employees that are actually possible and sustainable to run our businesses. This is like, that's how much that is. Iggy, what'd you think?
Listen, this is what we teach y'all now when it comes to, buying businesses, acquiring businesses, selling companies. I promise you that if I would have been privy to the information that I am now, when I first decided to come over here to this ghetto stuff, I definitely would have did it.
Hey, y'all, let me tell you about Iggy. Iggy was like, y'all ready to be a partner? Like, yeah, I'm going to help you build this thing. I said, Iggy. Now, Iggy. Now, when you become a partner now, there are partner responsibilities go with that. Iggy like, man, I'm ready to step up, man. Thank you, Jake. You're the first one, in my life that actually gave me this opportunity to actually step into this role and responsibility. I said, Iggy. Now, when you become my partner, you got to deal with partners. Iggy say, no, we good.
The majority of that partners. It be him. It be literally partner. But I learned. You
blaming it on me?
I learned quickly how to give you the same back so we could deal with this as partners.
Wow. So you blame it on me?
Blame what on you? Oh, that come with it.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. I'm
the reason?
Listen, you see how you try to pigeonhole me into something I ain't say?
I'm just trying to say that. I'm just trying to figure it out.
No. Listen, because what he left out is that I gladly stepped to the role.
No, that's what you left out.
No, I didn't. I didn't leave that out.
I just said you said that you didn't want to be a partner.
I never said I wanted to be a partner. What I did was showed up and became one.
You never said you want to be a partner?
I showed up and became one.
Oh,
What, you don't remember?
You showed up in what?
I became one.
Oh,
Yeah, well, you remember? I denied it quite a bit at first. I said no. But happily walking here, and it is a learning experience. It's not one that I shy away from. It's one.
No,
that
he ain't no punk. No,
definitely buy. But I will say it's different, and it does give a new perspective. It challenges you to show up every single day, regardless of what's going on in your life.
What's the perspective?
What's going on in the world? It challenges you to show up, even when you don't know where the next anything is gonna come from. It challenges you to show up to make sure that those people who are depending on you to show up outside of your immediate family, outside of your children, but the people who are working with you, your clients who are depending on you, your students who are depending on you, your investors who are depending on you. It challenges you to show up every single day. Let me tell you something. If like Dr. J said, if you sitting at $300K a year at your job, go ahead, sit down over there.
If you sitting at more than 100,000,
your head and be clear on what it is that you want to do before you step outside that road. Don't let these folks on the internet fool you, because listen, I'm gonna tell you,
they broke. We know these people.
I'm gonna tell you straight away. When I was one of the ones when I got online at first back in 2012, 2013. Y'all get on this internet money. You know, internet money. Passive income. Get your all you need is a laptop and Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I was back in 2014.
No, he was
back in 2013. So when I look at 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, people sharing the same thing. As the market gets more competitive, if more people are becoming more skillful in this market, there's more products, more technologies, dealing with post-pandemic where people were forced into this space, and people to be talking about the same thing is that easy? Is that simple to just come online and make money? Now, granted, there are opportunities where you can go and you can get online, you can make a lot of money. Being able to do that consistently, that's a different story. Being able to do it one time, then do it again, and then be able to prove that you did it by doing it again, and then being able to do it to the level that it not only just put a little chochos in your pocket, make sure your kids got some diapers, but when you have to perform on a level to make sure that what it is you're doing, that other people can do the same thing, that's a different level of responsibility.
You talking about that's GOAT level?
Are
you trying to say that's GOAT level? Is that GOAT level? Cause it sounds like you're.
I ain't never been a goat, but I ain't never said I was a goat, but I fit the description.
It sounds. hey, I'm not a goat, but I fit the description. Listen, Iggy, it sounds like you're explaining GOAT level. It sounds like you're explaining GOAT level things.
Yeah, absolutely. And when we talk about being able to grow and build when it comes to entrepreneurship,
no. Are you saying that doing all of that and excelling at the highest level is GOAT level?
I mean, that's the description of a GOAT, ain't it?
I just want you to say it. Say it with your chest, young buck.
Hey, listen, that's GOAT stuff, and I'm gonna tell you, I was born a Capricorn, so I've been a GOAT all my life.
Oh my gosh.
No. All jokes aside, though, absolutely. Being able to perform at the highest level, not just sometime part of the time, but consistently be able to do that. That is some GOAT type stuff right there. That's the description of what they call a GOAT. And
hold on one second. We ain't finna negate the fact that Mogul tried to make the camera clear without looking at the actual camera.
You got different powers where you got one eye.
That ain't no ghetto stuff.
Listen, I don't want to judge the power. Now it is clear. That's that 1 hour power.
I'm not gonna admit it's clear.
That's that 1 hour superpower though.
Hey, listen. Let me tell y'all something. If y'all watching on the internet right now, I absolutely hate my coworkers.
That's fine.
And the sad part is, I hired all of them.
That's fine.
And the sad part is, some of them I can't get rid of. And the sad part is that some of them used to be in their organization.
Yeah, dog. I'm gonna let y'all. In case y'all confused, he can't get rid of me. In case y'all confused what he talking about.
You irritate me.
I'm gonna be right here, dog.
All right, so define what generational wealth is. Let's get into it. Well, what's the purpose of this episode?
So, the purpose of this episode is to help people understand what type of wealth plan can be place when it comes to buying
But
companies.
it's always funny when you transition to be for real.
And why is that funny?
Well, because your transition be so hard. It be like, haha. All right, so the purpose of it's like there's no like.
The only difference between mine and yours is you be like, y'all like how I did that. I just switched.
No, the only difference between mine and yours is you light skin.
Wow, you see,
Bro,
Nick.
you didn't do a light skin thing to me today.
I didn't. What'd I do?
When Nick gave the idea, you said that's a light skin thing. When we was in my office.
Is that not the truth? It was 2 light skinned people that came up with the idea that presented to 2 dark skinned people. What does that have to do with this?
Wow, so you're racist.
No, we're the same race.
Are we the same race? You Venezuelan?
Am I?
Yes,
How
because
you know?
Because
'Cause I told you?
No, because people take the race of their father.
What race is my daddy?
Full Venezuelan.
Is Venezuelan
Now,
a race?
he may be ghetto.
Is Venezuelan a race?
Oh wow, he's Spanish.
No,
What is he?
he's Latin.
Okay,
Spanish is
you're
people
Latin.
from Spain.
You're Latin.
Negroes,
Y'all like he don't
black
like
people,
that.
Black people not Latin?
No, I'm a negro.
How you gonna say it in Spanish with the accent?
Hey, I'm negro.
Listen, it depends. Some days I'm too light to be black. Other days I'm too.
Hey, that sounds like some mixed people stuff.
I don't have to deal with it unless I'm dealing with it from you. The rest of the world sees me as a human.
No, they don't. Police see you as a target.
So you the police? That's what you telling me?
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm a what they call them people that report to the police secretly.
You supposed to have this on, ain't it?
Oh, let me put that on.
This is what he's supposed to have on.
Let me put it on. Let me put it on.
He's supposed to have his wire on.
Hold on, I gotta put my wire on.
The
y'all.
Fed. This is Fed now.
Hold on. The only reason I've been successful in business is because I've been snitching on people like you.
He's a snitch, y'all.
Hey, as soon as I hit the club, they get know I'm a snitch.
Listen, all right. So back to my hard switch. When it talks about generational wealth, when we talk about generational wealth, we really have to understand like that. What people be talking about online.
All right, so let me pause for a second. Come back to me.
Don't.
Hey y'all, look, come back to me.
He rude, ain't he, y'all?
Y'all know we buy companies, right? We bought a wellness and health company. See, a lot of y'all didn't. See, a lot of y'all think y'all be knowing our business. Y'all don't know. We just bought a health and wellness company. Did we not? Iggy, did we buy a health and wellness company?
Did we?
That's crazy. So you don't have a product coming out.
Do I?
You know what? I no longer endorse you.
You don't.
I don't care.
No
Iggy's a fraud, y'all.
I'm a fraud, y'all. Check the track record and find it.
So he don't want to help. You sure you don't like my compliments? That is the truth. Go on and read what you want to read. I don't even care no more.
Y'all, so what we've actually done
No.
I'm going on in place.
Okay, go on and move on.
Listen, you sip your communion and allow me
This
to
is not
preach.
communion. This is tea.
Tea can be communion.
It cannot.
You
You
gotta-
need a little stanker for communion.
You can commune with that. We not only acquired a health and wellness company, we also acquired the distribution of that company as well.
Oh, no, we don't practice buying companies though.
I don't know what you saying we don't practice, but there's a whole book over here that teaching about just.
But they don't want to believe us.
That's fine if they don't want to believe us, but they can either come and learn this and get in these deals with us, or learn from us, go get their own deals, or they can not believe and just buy the products that come from these companies that we buy and sell. Either way, that's fine. Because at the end of the day, we still got to address and talk about generational wealth. And those people that want to create that generational wealth,
That's right.
they going to move into that understanding of buying and selling companies, because we can't talk about generational wealth. When I was preparing for the show today, I really started thinking about like what is what is generational wealth for real? Like, how much money does it take to support a whole the next entire generation? Like, what dollar amount would you put on there?
I actually wouldn't put a dollar amount on it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when we talk about, people like you, all you need is just to get a life insurance policy, generational wealth. No, all you need is to start a business and you generational wealth. No, we got to talk about the entirety of what wealth is and being able to support that generationally.
Let me just say this, Mogul, are you never going to put the camera on Iggy? Or are you hating light skin?
See, it's a dark skinned person thing.
Bro, he was hating on you.
He really was. I thought it was froze for a second because you were moving. You were just.
That's 'cause I was like this.
Yeah. But understanding what that entire wealth aspect looks like, meaning that you don't need just a business, you don't need just a policy, you don't need just a dollar amount, but you need entire systems and structures in place to be able to grow and be able to provide and sustain a generation.
And this is why I love why you're saying that, because a lot of people that talk about generational wealth, they bring up scripture, right? They say, you're supposed to leave an inheritance for your children and your children's children. But the issue when it comes to inheritance, people only think money.
Right.
What good is money if you don't have the education or
right.
the ability to be able to apply the money that you make? What good is leaving a house if you don't know what to do with the house when you get it?
Right, and the fact that you're saying that, the understanding, like, I just take a little moment to talk about like your initial reasoning behind all of the books. We building out BizCo library as far as all of the curriculum that we have.
Because I wrote 7 books. I'm a 7-time author.
Listen,
and people really want to give me a 10 rating.
He more than a 7-time author. Just 7 of them are currently published right now, right? Because we ain't gonna.
I done wrote 7 books, and then people in this world want to give me a 10 rating.
Mogul.
Look at all these papers.
Look at all them trees.
No, these ain't from trees. These from bushes.
You got bushel of. but understanding that like being able to have this to leave for that next generation, because there's going to be new technology, there's going to be new understanding, business models, going to be a whole lot of new stuff that you can't even fathom. We were talking about the other day how there's stuff that you know that you don't know, and there's stuff that you don't know that you don't know. So all the unknowns that the next generation will experience, having a system in place so that they can take what you had and what you applied to the now and what the environment is now, what the economy is now, what the society is now, what businesses look like now, what trends look like now, what acquisition and money looks like now, and they can take that ideology, they can take those concepts, they can take that information, and they can apply it to the information and the technology that they have at that time. And that's the big thing, because if you pass down $1 million, you like they said, and the average amount of money that's being spent a year or that a family's making at that point is $1 million, and they amongst the rest of the people. But if you have a system in place that teaches them how to take and create surplus cash flow, how to utilize that surplus cash flow to hedge and protect, then how to multiply that cash flow and grow it, and talk about acquisition and businesses. Now we're talking about being able to provide for generations to come, because you're leaving a blueprint for the next generation. They can take that and build upon that, build on top of that, so that they can make sure that's provided. So you may be able to get something in place for 1 generation, 2 generations as a foundation to build off, but they need something solid to continue moving that forward. We can't think that we finna create generational wealth and it's just gonna start and stop with us and everybody else gonna be good after that. They gotta have some type of system that they can become a part of, that they can implement in whatever their life, their social, economic structure looks like, whatever the economy looks like, whatever that looks like at that time. Being able to take the information and being able to grow and move forward. No different than the understanding the basic concepts of carpentry, right? Framing up a house, cutting the wood, measuring. The design of that has changed in modern times of what we like, what is aesthetically pleasing. But the idea and the basics of what a carpenter is still the same thing. But they have to have that structure and have that system to be able to build off of. We can't just leave the next generation money and think that they're going to make it.
Well, I don't know why you switched to me on the camera. Like I had something else to say, because Iggy said everything that needed to be said. Next topic.
So when we talk about now, we got an understanding of what the heck generational wealth actually is, not just a buzzword, but now we got to look at the importance of generational wealth and why it's crucial for the future, because this is going to allow you to actually build it and have something in place to preserve it. Because what good is it for you to create it if the next generation has nothing in place that preserves it, right? They have nothing that when they move forward, how are they going to be able to understand? How are they going to be able to implement? How are they going to be able to grow and sustain that wealth for the next generation? Because if I can be the light, if I can be the spark, the initiator of that, and have systems and processes in place, this is going to dive into that importance, and it's going to give them the ability to go and pursue their dreams. Because just think about this. How many dreams have you put on hold because you didn't have the structure, the system, the belief, the education? How many dreams right now are on hold for you? What is it that you put off because you don't know how to do? You didn't know that you could do. What are you wishing that you could do, but there was nothing in place left for you? How is it that you have to be able to move forward, or that you're going to be able to move forward if you don't have that? The importance of generational wealth is huge, because this is where, especially for those who care, but we got to talk about legacy and what that means. As a man and as a woman, that may mean something different to you, but what does that legacy look like? And then is that legacy going to be able to sustain or support and sustain the next generation? Is it going to actually give them a leg to see on? Right? They're going to be able to give a leg to stand up and be able to see. Right? So it's a legacy. What are you putting in place that they are going to allow them to continue to move forward and build off the principles and the foundation that you have led? Because when Dr. Jake and us talk about leaving your kids your business, and you thinking that that's the totality of generational wealth. Well, what if your kids? What if you got a business, a furniture business? What if your kids don't care nothing about furniture? What if they got a thing for farming, or what if they got a thing for space engineering, right? Aquatic engineering, right? What if they have different interests? Wouldn't it be better to have a system in place that can cash flow and they can support them in their dream? Because we don't want to give them finances and take away a dream. And some of the rhetoric that's being spewed across the internet by these gurus and these self-made entrepreneurs and people is that you start a business, you make a lot of money, everybody good. Your kids gonna be good. Your grandkids gonna be good. Just if you start this business, listen, you can get this Amazon business, just drop shipping business, you're gonna make it. You can make you some money. You can get you a little bit of cash flow. Right? If we gonna really have this conversation about generational wealth, not getting generational money, not a little $100,000 that we put together in a policy, but actually have a system and a structure and some education that we can leave them. Y'all, these are the books that we have published currently. We got more books on the way this year, right? And if y'all pay attention to what it is that we do, if y'all pay attention to the reasons why we do things, you understand that this is not by accident. It's not by happenstance that we are bullish and going hard on making sure that we get curriculum out. We're talking about generational wealth. We're talking about making sure the next generation is educated. We're talking about making sure that they have a foundation and understanding to be able to build off of. If nobody else buy a single copy of these books, which that's just not going to happen. There's going to be tens of thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions of people who purchase these books over the next decade. But if that wasn't the case, I would still have things in place for my children to be able to understand what it is that I've done, what ideologies that I have, even if it was information that I learned and read, or whether it's information that I actually wrote. We have to understand generational wealth. We got to understand when we talk about legacy, we got to leave them with the legs so they can stand up and see. That we otherwise, what are we talking about? Right? Otherwise, what are we talking about? When we talk about being able to really understand our families and where we want them to be, and a lot of us will say, I don't want my children to have to go through what it is that I went through. Okay. I don't want my children to have to struggle like it is I did. Okay. I don't want my children to know what it is, to be without. Okay. Well, we got perspectives that we have to understand on that. Is it a perspective of understanding that you're going to do everything for them and just leave it to them and they're going to be all right? Well, if you create everything for them and don't give them any understanding on how to continue it, maintain it, sustain it, and just think that you're going to give it to them, they're going to be all right. That's like you having a son and growing up in a tough area and he not having any idea how to defend himself. Not saying that he gotta, be a stone cold pistol toting killer, but simply know how to defend himself, what that will look like for him. Whether that's a fight or a flight, or going with rolling with a group of friends, or taking certain routes, being able to navigate environments. He has to have the information to be able to make those decisions. And if he's not aware, if you from this part of from the U.S. and you go to Venezuela and you try to maneuver in the same mannerisms as the culture here, uneducated, you're probably gonna run into some issues. You're probably gonna run into some problems. You're probably gonna have a few dilemmas of being able to execute and handle and move things forward, right? But if you actually have a plan, right? If you go to Venezuela, you have a tour guide, or I talk to you, but like, look, you probably don't want to go to El 21, right? If you want to stay out of that area, it's a area in Venezuela that's very, very rid with crime at this point. It's area where my dad grew up. He still has an apartment there that he takes care of, and then my aunt lives in. But going to a place, if you go down there and you went into this area, it's a high chance if you went there looking like a terrorist, acting like a terrorist, not speaking any or any Spanish or good Spanish, there's a high percentage of a chance that you will get taken advantage of in some type of way, because you will be seen as a victim. You didn't have the education, the knowledge to be able to move forward. Yeah, you can go there. Yeah, you can get there and they got pretty beaches, great fruit. The culture is live. The music is great, right? But if you don't understand and have the education by somebody who has the experience that can tell you whether it's a tour guide or somebody from there that gives you a heads up, then you're going to be very vulnerable. So if you talking about legacy, you talking about generational wealth, and all you're going to do is make the money for your kids, and you just concerned about leaving them with money, then what is it they can do for the next? Y'all, if y'all picking up what I'm putting down, go ahead and put some 5s in the chat, because I want to make sure it's understanding. Marisha, Tracy, Chuck, Coop, what's going on? Like, when we talk about generational wealth, we can't just be using this as no buzzword. We have to stop just saying it as something that sounds good, because it take a lot of work to actually implement stuff, especially for our community who coming from a place that this is not something that was necessarily practiced for us. It's not things that we had in place. So a lot of us are getting this information, no matter what age we are, for the very first time. or we've heard it before but didn't know quite how to implement it. So we're almost playing catch up in a certain sense. And so if we're playing catch up now, then there is no possible way that we can think that just leaving our children with just money is going to create them and sustain them the wealth that they need in to deal with what they're dealing with in their generation. Because you're not dealing with the same things your parents dealing with. I'm not dealing with the same things my parents dealing with. My parents are not dealing with the same thing that their parents dealing with. My children won't deal with the same thing that I'm dealing with. Neither will yours. Knowing that, accepting that reality, what is it that you're going to put in place to move forward? We talk about private banking. We talk about budgeting. We talk about starting a business from scratch. We talk about launching an indestructible product. We're talking about the 6 steps to creating a winning product, right? We talked about a trust, right? We talk about all these different things, but if you don't understand how they all work for you and your wealth strategy, then we got to talk about something else. So why is this important when it comes to buying companies? Why is this important when we talk about buying companies? We're talking about creating wealth. What does buying businesses, buying companies have to do with creating wealth? Well, if we're talking about leaving behind systems, ideas, if I acquire a business and that business is producing X amount of cash flow, then I have now surplus cash that is being made that I can then take and invest. And if I can develop a portfolio of companies in the same, similar, or various industries and niches, then I can provide a diverse portfolio of businesses to be able to sustain the different markets and different climates of the economy that could present themselves and give the next generation the best opportunity to be able to figure it out and pivot, because they're going to have to pivot. They're going to have to navigate that. But if you got a strong structured infrastructure and system in place that allows them to have that opportunity to pivot, then they can have a real opportunity to create generational wealth. But if the only thing that they're trying to do is figure out what you did and you told them the business in the family, don't sell the business, don't sell the house, it's in the family, it's been passed down from generation to generation. Well, that's great. The business has been passed down, the house has been passed down. That's good. But if it's nothing more than an heirloom, if it's nothing more than just, this was in the family, if it's not providing them with the resources, with the capital, with the relationships, with the understanding to be able to navigate in the environment of whatever they're dealing with as a generation, we are selling them short. We are giving them the short end of the stick. Because no amount of money, no dollar amount can give them the foundation of wealth. But when you have a portfolio of businesses that are cash flowing and producing, they have a higher opportunity, because now they can have those businesses if they want to exit and sell those businesses based off information that we have, that we teaching in these books. They can take that information, be able to grow, be able to build and move forward. Now we sitting and we talking about an actual wealth strategy, a wealth plan. Buying businesses is a huge part of creating generational wealth. I want you to go find me anybody that's a billionaire out there that doesn't own businesses. I'll wait. Find me one. A name. We can put it in the chat. Who? With our community, who? Oprah? Okay. Jay-Z? Dr. Dre? Kanye? Robert F. Smith? Warren Buffett? Jeff Bezos? Microsoft, Bill Gates, all have businesses. And these are people who, if anybody named them any conversation, that conversation will be wrapped around them being a billionaire, being a mass influencer when it comes to entrepreneurship, a great entrepreneur, all of these things. And they have a number of different businesses and continue to acquire more businesses inside their portfolio. What sounds better for you to be able to share with your children? Y'all, it's family business. It's family business. I just want y'all to continue to run this family business. You know, I'm gonna give it to you. You give it to your child. They give it to their child. Run this business, and y'all gonna be just you got to be going to generation because it's generational wealth, y'all. Does that sound better, or does these are the business that we have? This is the amount of cash is coming in. You can take that and you can have this cash flow to play with, but depending on what's going on when you get older of age, you can sell these businesses before if the market's changed. I have an uncle lived out in California. He had a very, very, very successful paper printing business, a printing company. Now, we know that a lot of the stuff that we do now doesn't require paper. It's digital. So my uncle, about 11 years ago, saw things were changing, saw that the money that he was making before with just his standalone printing company wasn't the same because the market was changing. The need for that type of business by itself was changing. So he was able to exit. I'm not sure what he exited for, but he sold that company to a company that was able to put it under their umbrella that already had a need for printing inside that particular business, and were able to bring that inside of it, save them money because they no longer had to go outside. He was able to exit, take that lump of cash, and be able to invest it in I forget. I think it's a emergency response company where different emergency vehicles and dispatching, which is something that he finds more prevalent now. That exit allowed him to do that. They got the company, they able to build up their portfolio of businesses. He no longer had the resources or the need to keep that business. Now he's in a place where he exit and he's doing something that makes more sense. They all have businesses. If we talking this generational wealth stuff and y'all for real about talking this generational wealth stuff, we cannot have this conversation without talking about acquiring businesses. I'm gonna say it. Dr. Jake gonna say it. The team gonna say it. We're gonna preach it. We're gonna post it. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna go live about it. And some of y'all might think we beating a dead horse. I'm gonna beat the horse until it wake back up, because this is what I truly believe is the key that will separate us from where we are and where we've come from to where we truly want to be. And if we're gonna have the audacity, if we're gonna be bold enough, if we're gonna have the gumption to be able to speak and talk about generational wealth, then we better have that same gumption. We better have that same tenacity, that same energy to actually put in the work to create that generational wealth. All right? Hope I'm making sense to y'all. So when we talk about actually selling companies, we got to talk about and make sure you understand the advantages of what that is. Now, we've talked about different scenarios. We talked about the specific example when it came to my uncle. Now let's talk about some of the advantages of using the sale of companies as an actual wealth plan and strategy compared to like some of the popular methods. It is overly unique and has several benefits. First one, liquidity and diversity. Selling a business provides a substantial cash infusion that can be reinvested in diversified assets, reducing risks and increasing financial stability. So if you have business, and like I said, the market's shifting, right? We in a transition right now. A lot of talk and a lot of transitions talking about gas powered cars versus electric cars. And so your family, the next generation, they are in a position where times have changes. They had the opportunity to sell the business, get the cash liquid and be able to reinvest into something that makes sense in their time period, in their generation, in their world, so that they can move forward with diversity to be able to sustain. Because what sense would it have made for my uncle to hold on to that printing business and tell his kids, this is what y'all got to do. I started this business. I built it up for y'all. Y'all going to have to keep it and keep it running. I don't care what's. That's stupid. That's stupid. That's stupid. And why would you want to put the next generation in a position that is almost worse than not having nothing, starting from scratch? Now they got to figure out how to get to sell a business or to run a business that nobody want to deal with. It would be like them selling wagon wheels right now. The wooden big old carriage wheels. Y'all come on by. My great granddaddy started this and he built them by hand and not keeping it going generations and generations. Y'all come by this big wagon wheel. You can use it just real nice and smooth. No matter how you describe that wagon wheel, no matter how much detail went into putting it in, you can get some to sell some people that want to hang it up or want to have some sets or some stationary little stuff. But for it to be a thriving business that can produce and sustain generational wealth is stupid. We got to be outside of that. So liquidity and diversification. I can't talk. The next thing is being able to control the aspect of the business and to have the opportunity for decision making. So by selling a company, entrepreneurs gain freedom, right? They gain the freedom to explore new opportunities, new possibilities, new ventures. Being able to take this and invest in different areas. Right? Explore these. Now, the next thing is being able to mitigate business risk. So when we talk about mitigating risk, those of you who are in our 5-day class, yes, we are still having class tonight. I'll be wrapping up here shortly. It starts at 7 p.m. Right? Those of you who are in our class, in our 5-day boot camp, class, master series, business series, whatever you want to call it, you understand when we talk about mitigating risk a lot. Those of you who already have the book, Buy, Build, Sell, Repeat. For those of you acquisition ready, suitable to sell, talks about mitigating risk a lot, because buying business is about knowing the risk and being able to diversify those risks and or mitigate them. So selling at the right time can help entrepreneurs avoid potential economic downturns, industry disruptions, or other risks that could affect the value of their business. Right? I hope this making sense to y'all. I'm praying that there's somebody listening right now that is clicking and is making sense and light bulbs are going off. Because once you understand and you buy into the ideas and the concepts of business acquisition and what that means, and if you literally look at buying a company and buying real estate, and you talk about the risk, you talk about the upside, the downside, you talk about the opportunity that is there, you can create wealth and sustain it a lot more efficiently when it comes to business. This is not to hate on anybody that has real estate, because again, when we talk about wealth, we talk about diversification, mitigating risk. But that's for them to teach you on real estate. I'm not a real estate person, so I can't suggest to you, nor would I suggest to you what's the best way to approach it, how you should, what type of properties you should look at, how to run comps. That's not my lane. business acquisition, selling. Those are something that I can have conversation because I'm living that experience. I'm living and experiencing the benefits. And Dr. Jake and I, we talk about the realness of where the market is right now, what we're dealing with as a company. But that doesn't negate the fact that the acquisitions that we made, the companies that we bought, are what's allowing us to be able to maneuver in this space, to be able to sustain this space, to be able to continue to grow in this space, because we know that we acquired these companies, cash flow in these companies, what updates we have to make, what our potential exit is going to be, what we need to do to exit so that we can continue to grow. I know what that looks like. I understand what that is. But I would recommend to you a lot more to look at buying and selling companies, because it's a lot more simple to get in the business of buying and selling companies than most people even realize. Because some of you, until you found this show or until we started teaching this, you may have been like many others and didn't know that business acquisition was something that was really possible. So now let's talk about some of the misconceptions and challenges, because we didn't even think it's possible. So what are some of these misconceptions and challenges that we deal with when we're talking about the sale of companies as a wealth building strategy? Well, the first thing, selling a company means losing control over its legacy. No, not necessarily. You can sell a company, you can still maintain a seat on the board. You can still have an advisory role. You can still have a certain position in the company. That's all up for negotiation and how you want to exit the business. You want to exit it, clean exit, where when you sell it, that's it. It's all on them. You can sell it and work it, for a couple more years. You can exit and get paid, for a certain amount of time period and still have input. You don't have to lose control. The next thing, only large corporations can generate generational wealth. That's false. That's what they want us to believe. That's the falsehoods that have been spewed or suggested or insinuated to us over the years. But it's not as hard as you think, and you don't even need like license or certifications to be able to do it. You just need to be able to find a deal, weigh the risk, do your due diligence on it, be able to come up with the financing or creatively finance or however you want to structure it. And you need to be able to grow it, make it more efficient, and exit, or be able to partner and strategically partner with people who do. Number 3, it's impossible to find a suitable buyer who will maintain the company's value. So we building a company, right? You building up a granddad's company, right? And you're getting ready to exit, but you don't want the company to necessarily lose its value or integrity. You still want to have, it built like it was Pops, it was Big Daddy's. Big Daddy started this company, and I want to make sure that the Big Daddy ain't looking down at me like, what you got going on? I want to be able to exit because, it makes sense for us. We can get this return, and then, we can make acquisitions over here. So it makes sense for us, but I still want the next person who takes over the business to keep the values. You can find that. That comes with due diligence, figuring out the people that you're selling to, understanding what that looks like. Once the company is sold, there's no opportunity for continued growth. False. Absolutely false. Maybe you've taken the business as far as it can go based on your skill set, your resources, your relationship, your knowledge. But that doesn't mean that the next person can't. Selling a company is a one-time event with no long-term impact. Nah. We have already done one exit on one of our companies, and we're prepared to do. You can do multiple exits. It's all about how you structure the deal, and we talk about this inside of the book, right? They say if you want to hide something for people, put it in a book. I lost some in a book. It wasn't even the words in there, but I lost some in the book the earlier days, so they ain't lying. But if y'all want to find it, that means you got to look in the book. All right, this is what the secrets are, right? It ain't no Dr. Jake Iggy. They be gatekeeping. Bizco be gatekeeping. They be keeping all the information. No. We spend time over here teaching live. We also gave you the opportunity to read the information for yourself. Y'all, Bizco library getting thick. Careful due diligence, valuation, planning, help mitigate risk. Absolutely. Yeah. And to be honest with you, Tracy, like I had the idea of that, business could be bought and sold, but I didn't know that anybody could do it. I thought that you had to be at a certain caliber and you needed to have all these bajillions of dollars in order to be, and that's just not the case. And that's what we here to share. So if y'all getting value from this, if I'm making sense to y'all, share this with 3 people that you love, 3 people that you care about, because the more people that you can allow us to help teach, the more people that you have the opportunity to partner with and build with and grow with. Right? Because this is something that if you just learn, it's going to be hard for you to just really teach somebody else at the same time while you're learning. Bring them in. Let's all learn together. Let's build together. And then from there, we can look at the results we want to achieve, right? Entrepreneurs who sell their business are less successful than those who keep them. As an entrepreneur, Dr. Jake says all the time, the money is made on the exit. The money is made on the exit. We made more money on our first exit than we did cash flowing through the business. The money is made when you sell. The wealth is created when you sell. When you sell, you hear entrepreneurs all the time, like, what's the biggest thing that you would say that people need to know when they start a business and they building out their business? Know your exit. Know your exit. Know how you gonna leave this thing. Why is that important? Knowing your exit means that you understand exactly how you need to build. If you building to go public, or you building to sell it to a competitor or whatever it is, you might have to structure things a little bit different. You might need to focus on different areas so that it builds better for this type of exit. But knowing that in the beginning is a lot better than getting 5 years into a business and realizing that, I think I want to sell it, and then not having anything in place, not having pocket bookkeeper so you can keep up with your P&Ls. You don't have your 3 years of statements, of profit and loss statements, right? You don't understand your numbers when it comes to your CAC or your customer acquisition costs. You don't understand your LTV, your lifetime value. You don't understand your ROAS. What's your return on investments for your marketing? All of these things that you have not been keeping track of. You don't know the average order value, meaning when people are purchasing from you, how much is their order, the average order usually. Knowing these numbers, knowing these different areas, and depending on how you're going to exit, you may need to focus in more in certain areas than other areas. The next 9. The sale of a company will leave employees jobless and disrupt the community. No matter what it is that we do, somebody gonna get a job, somebody gonna lose a job. I want y'all to understand this. This is the reality. A lot of rhetoric, especially from a political aspect in America, is all about saving jobs. Well, these many people are not going to have a job if we do this. In some cases, in a lot of cases, it makes sense, but sometimes it don't make sense to just in where we're going in growth to save these jobs. I'll give you an example. Coal. We used to have locomotives that were, steam powered by coal engines. Right? It used to be a source of our fuel and all the fossil fuels and stuff. Right? It used to be a major source of energy and power for us here at home. It's not so much the case anymore. So the demand for coal has decreased dramatically. We ain't talking about your July 4th and Independence Day and all and Memorial Day and Labor Day barbecues. Like, it's not what we talking about. We ain't talking about you grilling with the family during the summer. That's not what we talking about. That like that. Yeah, you still lose cold, but even you can go get some wood or some lighter fluid and let it get burned. The wood burned down some coals and smoke it. Like, understanding that industries change, and there is always a cause and effect. There's always an up and a down. There's always a winner and a loser. There's this idea of that based on how things are, that everybody can have everything all at the same time and everything be perfect and good. Well, that may be the case in a utopia, but it comes with work. It comes with effort. It comes with knowledge. It comes with wisdom. It comes with experience. And there are some people that don't have two of these, yet alone all of them. So if we looking at the coal industry and we talking about my daddy and my uncle would work in the coal and in the caves and they was digging for 20 years and they can't use their job no more. The job going away. What if they kept working with the coal? The supply has to decrease because the demand has decreased. Supply demand is economics. If the demand decreases, the supply decreases. If the supply decreases, the demand increases. That means there's not need for a lot of supply. That means there's not a need for a lot of people who are helping the production of the supply. So therefore, a downgrade. Now we got to look at what is happening now. Imagine if you had a coal business. You trying your grandparents had a coal business and they left it to you and they just don't you never sell that. That's in the family. You be like, boy, what in the flapjack is you talking about, man? I don't even got no real customers no more to sell it to because I can sell this and there's companies who utilize it because they use this and they turn it into that to do that with and these machines that we were using, they can also be used over here to maybe mine for a different type of element, the platinum, copper, diamonds, whatever the case may be. Can you transition that? We have to understand that just because the market changes and people are going to lose jobs, that don't mean it's the end. This is why we talk about diversifying your skill sets. I tell you, the first thing that you got to vertically integrate is your skill sets. You got to layer your skill sets. Dr. Jake talked about, I talk about knowing multiple aspects of the business. When it comes to marketing, we got different aspects: email marketing, social media marketing, paid advertisement, content marketing, ad copy. We got marketing conversion, funnel building, understanding how to sell, how to position a webinar, product offerings. We got all this different type of stuff we got to understand. These different skill sets that I had to build in order to be able to holistically talk about and deliver and execute when it comes to marketing. So if pay advertising not a thing, well, I still understand how to implement this over here. I still understand the overall concepts of how campaigns are built out, what it is we're looking for. We were talking about the acquisition of a health and wellness company, right? Y'all will be hearing about that shortly. But in that acquisition, there was some rebranding of the products to be able to utilize in our one market first to be able to move and grow. So there's some rebranding, and we had to go back and forth with names of what felt the best. This is what we had to talk about, being diverse. That's not over here, but what's your input, what's your understanding, and collectively be able to grow generational wealth. Generational wealth can only be achieved through inheritance. So we talk about, we got to leave this inheritance. What about the business? They can inherit a business. They can inherit systems, processes. They can inherit it, operations. They can inherit principles. They can inherit the land. Y'all, it's bigger. It's bigger than just talking to talk. We talking about generational wealth. Y'all understand what a generation is? Do we understand what a generation is? Right. So listen, generational wealth is a hot topic, but it takes a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, and you got to have a doggone plan. You got to have a strategy. And when it comes to building wealth, you can't find me one wealthy person, not rich, not just, somebody that made six figures, a 6-figure earner. No, we're talking about wealth. We're talking about the big dogs. We're talking about the GOATs. Not one of them don't have businesses, not looking to buy. LeBron is in talks right now to be able to acquire the Complex brand. If you guys don't know the Complex brand, they're a big media outlet. Started, when I was younger with magazines, and now they have, a bunch of different podcasts and digital distribution channels for media with different types of content acquisitions. Who was that mogul? There was Tyler Perry, Shaq, and who else? And 50 Cent, and it was another one. I can't remember his name. Blackish guy. I can't remember his name. It's a weird name. Kenya Barris looking to acquire BET because it already has a customer base. It already has distribution outlets. It already has content. They create content or have content creating businesses that can buy into that. Not only change a narrative, increase legacy, but they can control the content that's being mass distributed to our people. So that acquisition, this is what people are doing. Tyler Perry, billionaire. 50 Cent, on his doggone way, for sure. LeBron, if not there, definitely close. He got a $1 billion contract, so I'm gonna call him a billionaire, but I don't want nobody. Well, LeBron ain't no billionaire. I'm gonna call him a billionaire because he got a $1 billion contract and he has other assets tied to that. So I'm gonna say that's what he is. Acquisitions. Y'all can go do the research. Find your favorite wealthy person anywhere. Somebody look up somebody that made hundreds of millions of dollars, somebody that made billions of dollars, and look at their history. Research them. Figure out what it is they're doing. Tell me if you don't see that they are buying and selling companies. This is the heartbeat of creating generational wealth. Buying, selling companies. Once you have that company cash flow, and then we can diversify and we can look at real estate and different things of that nature. But I hope this means a lot. Listen, we getting ready to get started here on our class tonight. This will be day 4. Those of you coming back, we got to finish up day 3. So we're going to finish up day 3. You guys, if you want to access that, you can go to buybuildsellrepeat.com/class. You'll be able to register for the Zoom. We will be starting and a little bit later. We're going to go more in depth about this because we really believe that this is what it's going to take for people to really create the generational wealth that we've been hollering and bopping about on these internet streets. Generational wealth is more than just creating an income. It's more than making a couple chochos. It's about having a system, the education, the strategies, the ideas, the businesses in place to provide the freedom for the next generation to dream. Don't lock them into your dream by trying to pass down your business to them. Allow them to explore their dreams because you got systems in place that allows them to still be free to dream. Don't kill your kids' dream by trying to force yours on them. Allow them the freedom to dream. Y'all, with that being said, this is Iggy. This is the Buy, Build, Sell, Repeat show. Dr. Jake stepped out, but he will be preparing, and he is preparing to dive in with the training tonight. BuyBuilSellRepeat.com/class. You guys get access to the training. It is free. Won't have any recordings, but you guys do get the notes each day after class. So I love you, and ain't a darn thing y'all could do about it. I'll see you on the next episode, or y'all can come holler at me in class tonight. Peace.
They got it, but let's buy some land and build a family. That's a grown-up flex. Let's see a black man.